Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, helping people in San Diego buy, sell, and refinance their biggest investment, delivering you timely truths, exposing important issues, and helping you get into the right home. Here are your hosts, real estate expert Daniel Beer, top-ranked professional by sales volume at one of San Diego's largest brokerages, and his mortgage partner, Todd Pianin, with over $2 billion in funded loans.
Welcome to Real Estate Exposed. How you doing? I'm Dan Beer with the Beer Home Team at Keller Williams, and my man Todd Pianin, our trusted loan authority. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It was St. Patty's Day on Friday. Doing really well. Kind of a little sad, though, Dan, because we're marking it down to the end of our radio show, aren't we?
Well, here's the thing. We have 4 more episodes left with you here
That's
on
including today.
Kogo. Including today.
So it's 3 after today.
We have 4. Yes, so we have 4 episodes that we're going to be with you on Kogo doing Real Estate Exposed. And we'll let you know how to find us afterwards. But here, in the spirit of the 4th remaining episodes,
yes,
Todd and I run our businesses as CEOs of our businesses, and most people that come into the business work with one of our specialists. And what we're going to do, special for you, we've been with you for 2 years, more than 2 years.
Yeah, more than 2 years.
We've been with you here on the air every Sunday morning, and because of that, we are opening up, in the theme of 4, we're opening up 4 slots in our calendar to meet for one-on-one consultations with us in person. If you have a real estate question, you're looking to buy or sell a home, I will be there in that consultation with you to give you expert advice. Todd, if you're looking to refinance a home, purchase a home, if you have just
long-term planning, you want to know what you should do. If you're thinking about taking cash out for home improvements, you're thinking about taking cash out for kids at college, where you think interest rates are. Just want to have a cup of coffee and just sort of talk about your situation and see what's best for you. No obligations attached. I want to do that with you. I want to give back. You guys have given us so much for the last couple of years that Dan and I feel like it's time for us to give. We want to give something real back.
I have twins on the way here. Okay, so we're opening up 4 slots in the calendar for you, and we are just looking forward to being with you.
4 each
in person. Yes, 4 for me, 4 for Todd. Here's how you get them. If you have a real estate or loan related question, or you simply want to do long-term planning, the number is 800-676-2420. You ask for Todd on the mortgage side, or you ask for myself, Dan, on the real estate side. The number again, take out your pen and paper, 800-676-2420. And thank you for having been such wonderful, loyal listeners all these years. Now, shifting gears, there are a lot of frustrated buyers in the marketplace right now.
A lot. I mean, the backlog. I mean, the backlog, what we call them in our business, Dan, I know what you call them in your business. We call them TBDs, which means to be determined, like buyers who are ready to go, who've been pre-approved by us at Home Street Bank, even the loan officers that work for me in my branch. I mean, we've never seen such a stockpile of TBDs. And one of the things that they keep asking is, we write offers, but we can't seem to win the deal. You have suggestions for that?
Yeah, if you're experiencing what Todd just described, where you're making offers with your realtor and you just can't quite get the deal, or you show up to an open house, you like it, but then find out it was already sold hours earlier. You show up to a different open house, you like it, but by the time you make a phone call, it has 2, 3, 4 offers and the price has been bid up. That's the experience of the American home buyer today, specifically here in San Diego County. That's what's going on because we have a tremendous shortage of inventory. Okay, this is an inventory-led movement, and then there's the low interest rates of today, which are going to disappear on us. The Fed made a move this past week, so we'll talk about that shortly, Todd.
Yeah, we talk about this week.
So we have clear pressure for upward movement. Moving interest rates.
We're moving into that 10-year upward moving cycle.
And buyers feel that. they understand that this truly is the closing window that we've all been waiting for years, but it's literally closing. The government's going to make sure of it. And before those walls cave in on you, buyers are wanting to get out there. But they're only looking at the homes that all other buyers are looking at. If you're looking at what's online, if you're just calling for sale signs, if you're only showing up to open houses and you expect to get the best house, you're in for a rough surprise. Okay, you're not in for what you're hoping to get, because the best homes go fast, and most of what's out there are simply the leftovers.
Agreed. I mean, we don't leftovers. You call them lemons.
Look,
overpriced.
There's very few homes, and there's far more buyers.
Right.
So as a buyer, how do you overcome that? How do you get the best house without having to compete against 4 or 5 other offers?
So what do you do, Dan?
You had a very interesting conversation this past week with a buyer.
Okay.
And see, he acknowledged the fact that there's going to be more homes on the market in the summer. And that's true.
Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. There's going to be more homes on the market in the summer.
So you think inventory is going to open up like dramatically?
Not dramatically, but more than today.
Okay.
Okay, so there's going to be more homes on the market in the summer. You're absolutely right, though, Todd, what you're alluding to. It will not be dramatic. You'll get what we get every year. You'll get some more inventory. You'll also get some more buyers. Now, when you get that additional inventory in the summer, if you wait for the summer for that inventory to hit, talking to you, Mr. Buyer, if you wait for the summer for that inventory to hit, it's again public knowledge, and you're again competing against the market. If instead you align yourself with a buyer specialist that has nothing, that does nothing other than simply focus on and work for their buyers in the field, while they have an entire operations team on the back end doing all the paperwork and compliance and everything that has to be done there. They have a marketing team. They have everything they need in order to have their business stabilized to the point where they focus 100% of their time in the field. That's where you have the ability to find you have the ability to find those future home sellers, those sellers that are prepping for spring and summer, and get to them before they put that sign in the yard, before they announce themselves to the world. And if you can work with somebody that gets you access to those people and digs them up based on a full diagnosis of your needs, that's where you have the ability to win. And that's where you can take advantage of the low interest rates that all the other buyers are currently taking advantage of, and you're getting pushed out of the way with the fierce competition. That's how you move ahead and give yourself a winning edge. And it's really the only way you can do it today.
Let's be honest. How many teams in the county actually have buyer specialists? I mean,
I don't have a specific number for you, but if I was to throw something out there, there might be, goodness, maybe 50 of them. I don't know. 50 to them? 100 of them? Roughly? Maybe 50.
So if you're a buyer right now, one of the questions you should be asking is, are you a buyer specialist, or are you a listing specialist, or are you a jack of all trades? I don't mean to be like make fun over this, but
those are facts.
You know what I mean? But I mean, jack of all trades means you're listing, you're marketing, you're doing. I mean, you guys. I mean, at the Beer Home team, everybody is a specialist. Everybody. I mean, you have a specialist. I don't mean I want to be funny here, but you have almost a specialist that gets coffee for your clients. I mean,
I'm human too, so my day is limited to 24 hours.
Right.
So I do not have the ability to be a marketing specialist, a negotiating specialist, a listing agent, a listing manager, a contract to close specialist.
A showing agent,
an operations expert, a showing agent. That's right. There are so many components. To a customer service representative, the person who answers the phones, the person that stays late. I don't have the ability to do every one of those jobs and do them right. So in our business, we all do one thing.
Well, not only that, you may not even do them right. I mean, not do them right. I mean, it may not be your specialty. It may not be your strength, right? So you hire people that cater to those strengths too.
It's for whatever reason, in all other industries, the public understands that the attorney has a paralegal and a secretary and a marketing all they care about.
The surgeon has a nurse. Surgeon has anesthesiologist. Everybody has what they do. They're specialists.
Yes. And in real estate, you have people trying to work 10 different jobs all at once. Some of them pull it off reasonably well to the point where they're at least professional.
Right.
But what is very rare is with that. What's impossible is to do all of them at the highest level, because unless somebody's figured out a way to get a 25th hour in the day, you just can't do it.
Well, okay, so are there people out there that do, like, you in the home selling seminars, one of the things you talk about is, hire somebody who at least has one win a week, 50 sales a week, 50 sales a year, 50 sales a week would be great, right? We were probably in Idaho.
Yeah.
But,
so that's a hiring criteria for a listing agent.
For a listing agent. But somebody who had,
what's a hiring criteria on the buyer side?
Yeah.
A hiring criteria on the buyer side is proof that they routinely sell off-market homes that are not, while representing buyers, that they routinely sell off-market homes before that home it has competition from other buyers. Essentially, do you have access to more? If you already know the answer, okay? If you're working on buying a home right now, and the only homes you're looking at are the ones that you find online, and then you ask the agent to show them to you, that's an issue. We spend a lot of time in the show talking about the issues with the selling process.
Right.
But that's an issue if you're buying a home. Why are you finding them yourself and just simply having the door opened? Why don't you get yourself access to more? We have to head to break, but we're going to talk about this. And again, if you want to take advantage,
I have another question for you.
If you want to take advantage of one of those 4 slots that Todd and I are opening up on your behalf to personally meet with you on a consultation, whether mortgage, real estate related, or perhaps you just want to do some long-term planning, the number's 800-676-2420. You're with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. Again, number here is 800-676-2420. Coming up next, we're going to get Todd's question here to figure out exactly how you do make the right hiring decisions. And there's been some changes in the rate market you're going to want to know. What's up, Real Estate Exposed?
What's up, San Diego?
So you're here with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. We're talking about interest rate projections. Freddie Mac has laid it out for 2018. Todd, our mortgage specialist from Home Street Bank, tell me.
So this isn't really going to show like reality here in San Diego, but let's just take a home price of $250,000. Okay? Today, with Freddie Mac, this is Freddie Mac's quoting. This is not me quoting interest rates. I want to make that real clear. So today, they're saying the interest rate on a purchase price. They're not even talking about down payment on a purchase price of $250,000. The rate today would be 4.2. They're saying this time next year, your interest rate on the same house, which now because of inflation will be worth $262,000, would be 4.8%. So what that means, the cost monthly by not buying now, waiting till next year, the cost monthly on a $250,000 house is $152.08. Annually, it's $1,824.96, and over 30 years, it's $54,749.
Additional that same house is going to cost you.
So
if Freddie Mac's projections
are correct. But let's talk about something even bigger here in San Diego. If you take a $750,000 house, inflation goes in, it becomes a $786,000 house. Today's 4.2 interest rate, which you can't get on a you could on a 750. Next year, 4.8. The cost of waiting just on the purchase price is $36,000. In the monthly payment, Dan, it's $456 a month on a $750,000 house.
That's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference.
There's not a lot of American families saving those $470-something a month.
No.
Most people on check to check. In fact, we all know there's a tremendous amount of consumer debt. Consumer debt is at its highest point ever. And so those $470-something potentially mean that it either breaks you and you go into debt, or it means you just don't own a home.
Right. Correct.
And so what should somebody do? What does that actually all mean, Todd?
It means that you basically, for if you're in San Diego and the average median price of the home is under $500,000, is about $500,000, that I would be one of those buyers out there trying to buy a home right now, because over the next couple of years, it's going to get way more expensive.
And there are so many buyers trying to buy a home right now. That's part of the issue that we're seeing in the market, is that buyers are frustrated that the homes that they find have a lot of other activity. They have offers and the prices are getting bid up. And the way you avoid that is you do what the smartest buyers do. The elite buyers in this market, what they do is actually find, well, they don't go out and find it themselves. They have people, professionals on their behalf, who find them properties that aren't yet publicly available to the entire market. So it's the inverse of our selling strategy, right? And when you're trying to sell, you want all the buyers clamored in trying to fight for one home. Well, if you volunteer yourself into that process as a buyer, you're doing yourself a disservice. As a buyer, you can't just go look at the homes that everyone else is looking at. If you already saw it on Zillow, or if you already saw it online anywhere, whatever your favorite website is, so did everybody else. If you're attending the open house, so is everybody else. If you're driving by and see the for sale sign and that's where you're calling from, so has everybody else. The only way to actually gain an edge in anything is to have information others don't have. In fact, on Wall Street, that the idea of having information others don't have is such an edge that it's actually illegal. It's illegal because it's insider trading. You have information that you could profit on that others don't have.
Correct.
In real estate, insider trading is completely legal. You can do it. You can gain access to information of homes that will be on the market a few months from now, but just aren't on the market yet today. And you can get to them and negotiate a great financial win for you and a win for the seller. Because you can give the seller a win maybe on timing or some other aspect of the deal.
Well, they can go out and buy while interest rates are still low.
And you can buy, yes, the seller can go buy while interest rates are low.
Right, so they're getting a win too.
And you can buy without having to compete against other offers and lock in the interest rate.
Correct.
Now, it takes a specialist if you want to discuss it. It's actually a perfect lead-in into the offer that Todd and I are making you this on this show and for the remainder of our time here on Kogo, which we've had such a wonderful time being on the air with you every Sunday morning.
But we're moving.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the news, we're sorry to tell you we are moving, and you'll be able to find us on Facebook Live. But we are leaving our cozy little spot here on Sunday mornings that we have with you, and in our business, our primary role is to run our business. We're the visionaries for our business, and we manage our teams. But we are doing something special, and we are opening up 4 slots in our calendar.
Both
4
of us.
for myself, 4 for Todd.
Yep.
Where if you want to talk real estate or you want to talk loans, if you need if you need any long-term planning as far as how to get into the right house and get yourself into a position where you can repair credit and you can position yourself for a purchase, Todd has opened up 4 slots in his calendar. We've been with you for over 2 years.
More than 2 years.
And we want to meet with you face to face and just be able to serve and give back. So Todd's doing that on his end. Anything mortgage related, I'm making myself available in my calendar to meet with you face to face.
Which, ladies and gentlemen, I saw we planned out the home selling seminars for the rest of the year yesterday in his office, and I saw his schedule on a big screen TV. And for him to do this is pretty amazing because I could barely get the home selling seminars in because he's so jammed up.
The thing you want to do, if you want one of those 4 appointments, is call 800-676-2420. It's 800-676-2420. If you want to talk real estate, you say, I want to talk to Dan. I want to be on his calendar. I want to meet him and go through whatever it is I need to go through, buying, selling, or just get information. If you're have a mortgage need,
if you have a mortgage
if you're talking
need,
loans,
you want to talk about adding on to your home, how do you get the money, your kids going to college, how you want to plan for retirement, should you stay in the loan you're in, should you go to a 15-year fixed? Just if you want to pick my brain, that's what I'm here for. I just want to give back, and I want to give you information. It's not a chance for me to try to refinance you into selling you into something else. You can read the reviews online. You can talk to other Kogo listeners who've called me with similar questions, and I've told them not to refinance, to stay where they are, and that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my little spiel.
Here's the number if you want to connect with us live, in person, face-to-face, one-on-one, in absolute privacy and a confidential meeting with zero obligation on the other end. It is simply a way to give back to our wonderful, beautiful listening audience. We've enjoyed being with you. The number to get those appointments is 800-676-2420. Again, 800-676-2420. 2420. And if you in any way doubt we're at peak levels in this current market cycle, there are several areas of San Diego County that had lower prices in 2016 than they did in 2015. It's what very few people are talking about, and it's the very largely overlooked elephant in the room.
Big elephant.
We're coming up next, and we're exposing that truth. You're live with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. This is Real Estate Exposed. Welcome back. Final segment here. It's been a good Sunday morning with you. This is Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer of the Beer Home Team at Keller Williams Realty.
It's been a beautiful weekend, actually, Dan.
And Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank. Home prices.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about this. Last week we talked about We talked about all these areas where zip codes that homes have gone up. Now you're telling me that we have a whole slew of zip codes that no one's told us that prices have actually gone down?
That's right. There are areas of San Diego County, very well-known areas, by the way, areas of San Diego County where home prices in 2015 were higher than they were in 2016. And everybody thinks
is this a little secret in the real estate market, or is this because every time I open up the Union Tribune or any paper, people are always talking about values going up, homes going up. I'm kind of shocked to see that in San Diego County that we're seeing that there are segments that home values have gone down. I mean, it just seems kind of crazy to me. I'm assuming, though, Dan, that this has got to be more in the higher end kind of spectrum, because I've seen those homes sit on the market for a much longer period of time than other homes in the past. So, I think that's part of it, but maybe I'm wrong.
So it shouldn't come as such a big surprise that this is exactly what we're going to run into, as we are clearly at near the peak of the market.
Right.
Remember, I've been saying this now a few weeks in a row, but I'm going to say it until it sets into everybody's head.
Right.
The last time we set into a downward market, right? The last time the market began to shift was 11 years ago at the end of 2006. It's been a long time. If you think that we're 11 years away from the next shift, I'm sorry, but go find where in the history of our entire economy has there ever been a 22-year run. There never has been. It doesn't exist. And so, yes, we are a lot closer to lower prices than we are to higher prices. Okay, we are a lot closer. I'm going to repeat that. We're a lot closer to lower prices than we are to higher prices. And before the election, we started to see that, didn't we, Todd? We started to see the high end of the market, particularly along the 15 at luxury price points. We started to see some of those neighborhoods drop in price. We started to see the inventory build up, and we started to see the very beginnings of how this always goes down. It always goes down in the upper price points of the inland corridor, and then it trickles out to the rest of the market. Now, that to some degree has paused. ever since the election.
Right.
But here's some facts for you. Palma Valley Palma Valley, your market dropped 1.63% in 2016 compared to 2015.
Where's Palma Valley?
It's east. It's east of the 15. It's you get a lot of land. It's northeast, we'll call it.
Okay.
All right. Hamul, southeast.
Okay.
Hamul, your prices dropped 1.79% in 2016 versus 2015. That might not seem like a big number, but it's a drop. At some point, you have to hit that crest, and then you start making your way to the other side. Here's a hugely surprising neighborhood that had actually a decrease in average price point. Excuse me, we're talking median price point, okay?
Right.
North Park, 92104.
I'm
North
shocked.
Park, 2015, they were at 450,000. And 2016, they were at 441. So they lost $9,000 of equity in 2016.
I'm kind of shocked on that.
That's one that nobody would really see coming. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it when you told me.
I didn't see that coming whatsoever. Mission Valley, you had a 3.1% drop in 2016.
What's the median price in Mission Valley?
359,000. Used to be 370.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. Coronado.
Another one I didn't see coming.
Coronado, high end. So remember that high end is the first to thaw out, and then it trickles out to the rest of the market. You're going to see a lot of high end start to come into this list. Coronado, 3.92% drop in prices.
So what's their median price now?
It's now $1,410,000.
Wow.
Pretty healthy still.
Yeah, yeah, it's still really healthy.
Ocean Beach, you had a 5.94% drop in prices. 5.94% drop in prices. You're now at $672,000. Here's one. La Jolla.
Another one I didn't see coming.
La Jolla dropped 7.56%. Their average price, or median. We're talking median. Their median price point is now $1,040,000, down from $1,125,000. And that's where once La Jolla starts getting hit, once our coastal luxury starts to get hit, believe me, it's the very beginning of the trickle-down process to the rest of the market.
Right.
You don't have to believe me. Screw believing me. Just go look at history.
Right, it's the data.
Just go look at history.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right.
You know, it does. It's your typical bread and butter $400,000 house or condo in Rancho Bernardo. That's not the first thing to just fall off the earth.
Right.
It's actually luxury. Starts inland, goes west, and then creeps out to the rest of the price points. So La Jolla, you're in the game. Rancho Santa Fe, really one of the hardest hit neighborhoods.
That doesn't surprise me.
Rancho Santa Fe has been devastated since the downturn. They've dropped from $2.4 million to $2,191.
Wow.
Big drop. Rancho Santa Fe post office, that's just another Rancho Santa Fe zip code, actually had an 18% drop. And that rounds it out with Rancho Santa Fe being the most hurt out of any zip code in San Diego County. So there you have it. Prices in those luxury markets are starting to change. Rates are low, and those that are taking greatest advantage of locking in the most amount of equity and moving it into a low interest rate are doing that now.
Do you think that those will go bounce back up?
At some point, they're going to be higher than they are today. They're going to be higher than they are today at the peak of the next cycle. So if you're somebody that's on an 8, 9, 10-year hold, please hold. If you're selling a year from now, you really ought to think about getting the most equity you can today. And there's buyers that'll go nuts if you haven't been hearing the rest of the show. The number here is 800-676-2420. If you want to connect with Todd and I in person, we're doing one-on-one consultations, which is rare, and we're giving them here to you, our listeners on the show. 800-676-2420. On behalf of the Beer Home Team, I'm Daniel Beer.
I'm Todd Pianin on behalf of Home Street Bank, a member of the FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS ID number 304014. Enjoy this beautiful Sunday, and we'll see you next week.